All right. Good morning. I have 3 to 5 minutes to talk about this week's assignment. So I want to take the time to talk about the thing that was most problematic for me. First, we're going to start talking about this callback with the write file. So we use Node.js in this callback style to write this into a file, but then we need to read it. We have to do that within the callback so that it'll have current access to it with the way Node runs the operations. Well, what happens if after that read or that write, then that read to verify the information, we have to actually do another write based on the validation of that information being put there. This can very quickly become gross shifting to the right, and it is known as callback hell. This is the most basic form, aka the start of it. Um, and even knowing this, I set the read file outside the callback and was wondering why I wasn't getting access to it. And, 5 minutes of tinkering, I was like, oh, yeah, duh, that's what callback hell is. So, yeah, I even went next with our dot then as our with our we do our promise based style instead of our callback, and with our promise based returns we have two ways we can handle this: our dot then chaining, or a sync and a wait. And I want to talk about the first one with this dot then here. We read the file and then it returns a promise. We then grab that promise with the chaining of dot then. Now, technically, we could have a catch at the end of this for error handling, but I just wanted to keep it simple for this. Though I did it for the next one, which was our async await function, and uh, it returns a promise. We then assign that promise to our uh, data variable, we check it, and then we process it. It looks so clean, streamlined, straightforward, the way it's supposed to be. And I want to take a second to touch on the UTF tag. If you wanted to, you could actually take data and to string method it, and it would do the same operation as the UTF string. I found that out through an error, but we're not going to talk about that. It was a fun error, and I learned a workaround. But now we're going to talk about the node fundamentals. And we're going to do what is Node.js. It's a framework that allows us to do backend server development, including but not limited to system operations, file management, and TCP sockets for, plugins and connections. Direct access to, how does Node.js differ from running JavaScript in the browser? Direct access to those file and operating systems, low-level operating system tasks, and HTTPS connection protocols. What is the V8 and how does Node use it? Node is built on the V8 engine, which does this thing called just-in-time compiling, which, as I understood it, means it compiles as it goes compared to the whole thing at once, which works faster because we get a return and we don't have to wait for the whole thing. What are some key uses for Node? Server-to-server communication, read, write, and processing files, as well as chunk large streams of data. Oh, side note, things that JavaScript does that Node does not, data manipulation. Explain the difference between CommonJS and ES modules. We have the modules export on the function, and then we would require it via the path. And the something here is the variable name we would use when we import it. I myself am partial to the ES modules because that's how I learned 4 years ago. as well as setting up the package JSON. You could put type modules in there and actually build import path systems using wildcards on directories to actually make custom paths for whole directories. Yeah, it's really cool. From there, we're going to run our tests, and they are done. There you go. I hope this is short enough. You guys have a great day. Oh, focus.